I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thank you for logging on. Today we discuss the proper usage and care of your Grand Seiko SBGR311. Now this is an automatic winding watch by means of case-back winding mass that can nevertheless be manually wound. What you want to do is thread the crown out of its stem tube, and in the first position, as soon as it tangibly pops out of that stem tube, you want to just wind it in a clockwise direction if the watch is completely stopped 30 to 40 turns in a clockwise direction. Now at that point the watch will be able to wind itself, and you can enter into the setting modes that I'm now about to display. But if you wish to wind the watch to its maximum rated power reserve of approximately 72 hours, you simply continue turning in a clockwise direction. There is a bridle style mainspring that will slip to relieve excess strain, so the watch cannot automatically overwind itself and you cannot manually overwind the watch. So listen for the click or tick of the bridle slipping by design, and that's your audible sign that the watch is now fully wound. There are two subsidiary setting modes, and I've already displayed one, known as hacking or stop seconds. This is the setting mode. By pulling the crown out 2 stops, you stop the balance, halt the seconds hand. I like to stop it at 12 o'clock, right at the start of the next minute. Now, look up an online atomic clock that is an accurate reference for your time zone. Set your watch to the correct hour and the next nearest minute. And if you're picking the watch up after a period of stoppage, you may want to roll the watch once past 12 just so you know where you are in the date change sequence, so you know whether you're looking at AM or PM. Now let's say right now it is 7:20 in the morning where I am. Well, I'm going to set the watch to the correct hour, but now against that reference time I'm actually going to set the watch to the next nearest minute. I'm going to set it to 7:21, and the reason I do this is because I'm going to set precisely and allow that reference time to catch up. It's going to be at most 60 seconds behind my watch. I'm going to let it catch up to the exact hour, minute, and seconds that I have displayed on my watch. The second they coincide, that is, they match perfectly, push that crown back in, resume the beat of the balance. Now you've synchronized to a reference time. Since we know where we are in the AM-PM sequence, we're going to pull the crown out one position from the winding position, and we're going to turn in a clockwise direction to use the quick set date. This is great if the watch encounters an irregular length month, and it's particularly helpful if the watch runs down. If it's several days at variance with the correct calendar, you can rapidly cycle and correct. There is one proviso, however. You cannot use that mechanism between 8 p.m. and 3 a.m. Jumping the date takes a lot of power, and to avoid slowing the watch and losing time or stopping the movement altogether, the caliber spreads the date change over that period from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. So attempting to use the quick set while the watch is itself jumping the date automatically can crash the movement and cause damage. So don't do that. If you're between 8 p.m. and 3 a.m. and you need to change the date, roll the hour hand manually through 12 o'clock and change the date that way. Get out of the danger zone and then activate the quick set. Once you're done setting and winding, you need to take care not to accidentally jump the date in the process. But once you're done setting and winding, you can apply pressure, thread the crown back in by turning it in a clockwise direction while pressuring it down, and thread it flush to the case. You can help avoid accidental drowning of your watch by always doing this before submerging the watch and keeping it there if the watch is wet. Regard a wet watch as a submerged watch. And that brings us to the first of our 3 hazard areas. We need to talk about handling your watch around water, magnetism, and shock. So this timepiece is 100 meters water resistant with a screw-down crown. That's robust and sufficient for almost all aquatic activities, short of diving with rebreathers, anything that might involve decompression or high diving. But otherwise, this is an aquatic watch. Just keep that crown screwed down. Never thread it out or attempt to use any of its functions while the watch is wet or submerged. Also, keep in mind that if you should expose the watch to salt or highly chlorinated water, once it comes out, rinse it with fresh water or wipe it down with a damp, soft cloth that has been moistened with fresh water, and then dry it. It's also important to remember that because seals and lubricants are responsible for the water resistance of your watch and they age and degrade with time, you should regard your watch as requiring an annual water test, and this is Grand Seiko's own guidance. To have the watch annually dry water tested, this is a free service at Grand Seiko authorized dealers to check the hermeticity of your case. This is also a good time to have total condition, cosmetic, chronometric, and water resistant checked to see if a full service might be required. Magnetism has the effect of changing the state of the ferrous hairspring at the center of your watch's balance. It's the heartbeat of your watch, and a magnetized hairspring will cause a watch to run erratically, either very quickly or slowly. But if you suspect due to erratic running that your watch may have become magnetized, take it to a Grand Seiko authorized dealer or service center where specialized equipment is available to quickly and easily demagnetize your watch. As a precaution, keep the watch remote from powerful static magnets like speakers, subwoofers, the closures of wallets, purses, and refrigerator doors, as well as powerful electromagnets and electromagnetic devices. Concussion, however, can cause more permanent damage and permanent effects on your watch. Minimally, shock and vibration can cause the watch to run without precision. Maximally, you might damage the movement so much that it stops, you might damage the case, you might crack or discharge the sapphire crystals on the front and back of the watch. So Grand Seiko recommends disuse of the watch during vigorous concussive sports such as batting, tennis, golf, firearms marksmanship, or the riding of ATVs and mountain bikes. Ultimately, every fine timepiece, quartz, spring drive, or mechanical, requires a periodic comprehensive service that will restore the condition of your watch externally, the water resistance, and the performance of its movement with cleaning, oiling, and adjustment. This should be performed, if necessary, solely at Grand Seiko authorized service centers, including the factory itself. These agencies solely have the trained personnel, specialized tools, and original Grand Seiko factory replacement parts to protect the value of your watch as both instrument and as investment. Moreover, only these agencies are authorized to back all labor and parts invested with a Grand Seiko factory service warranty. Visit our website at govbergwatches.com and call, text, or email our experts who will be happy to walk you through the usage and care of this or any Grand Seiko fine timepiece.